Her Grace Atma Mataji. She is very familiar to our congregation. She does not require any introduction, but it's our pleasure to glorify devotees. So Mataji actively participating in many temple services. She is coordinating one of the major service such as Prasadam coordination, and also Mataji does lecture transcription service, and she is very kind Vaishnava. With that, we will welcome Mataji by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra once. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Atma Mataji.
Hare Krishna devotees, thank you for this kind introduction. Even though I'm not qualified for it, I will try my best to give this class. So, can all share, see my screen?
Yes, Mataji, we can.
Okay. So today I'm going to talk about Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13. It is nature, the enjoyer, and consciousness. And the verse is 13. Jai Srila Prabhupada. So first, I would like to offer my respectful obeisances to my Guru, His Holiness Robama Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, and the Guru Parambara, and to all my Shiksha Gurus for guiding me in this path of Krishna consciousness. And thank you, Jai Subra Mataji, and thank you, Satyasata Prabhu, and all my Shiksha Gurus who are guiding me in this path. So for first, I'd like to go with Jai Radha Madhava. Samanvita, can you please sing it?
Yes, Mataji. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
We start with the prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Nananjana Shalakaya Chakshud Unmilatam Ena Tasme Sri Guruve Namaha Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yudapada Kamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rubam Sagrajatam Sahagana Regunata Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvedam Savadudam Parijana Sahidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lilita Sri Visha Hidam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bendo Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namastude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubsha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Paritanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Idi Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prajarine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. First, I like to do obeisances to Krishna by chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 3 times. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So the verses, Bhagavad Gita chapter 13. Neyam yet tat pravashyami jnanamridam asnute anadi matparam brahma nasat nasat uchyade. Neyam etat pravakshami jnanatamridam asnude anadi matparam brahma nasatan anasat ahuchyade. Neyam etat pravakshami yajnatamardam ashnude anadi matparam brahma nyasatan nasat uchyade. Any devotees would like to read?
I can try, Mataji. Nyeyakshya yajnavam ratam ashnute anadimat param brahma nasattan nasat uchyate.
Start then. Neyam, the knowledge, yet, which, that, pravashyami, I shall now explain. Yet means which, natva, knowing, amardam, nectar, ashnude, one taste, anadi, beginningless, matparam, subordinate to me, Brahma, the spirit, na, neither, sat, cause, tat, that, na, nor, asat, means effect, uchyade, is said to be. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, J. Srila Prabhupada. I shall now explain the knowable, knowing which you will taste the eternal Brahman, the spirit, the beginningless and subordinate to me, lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. Purport. And would you like to read the purport?
I can go ahead, Mataji. The Lord has explained the field of activities and the knower of the field. He has also explained the process of knowing the knower of the field of activities. Now he begins to explain the knowable, first the soul and then the super soul. By knowledge of the knower, both the soul and the super soul, one can relish the nectar of life. As explained in the second chapter, the living entity is eternal. This is also confirmed here. There is no specific date at which the jiva was born. nor can anyone trace out the history of the Jivatma's manifestation from the Supreme Lord. Therefore, it is beginningless. The Vedic literature confirms this. Na jayate mriyate va vipaschit. Katha Upanishad 1.2.18. The knower of the body is never born and never dies, and he is full of knowledge. The Supreme Lord, as the Supersoul, is also stated in the Vedic literature, Svetasvatara Upanishad 6.16, to be Pradhana Kshetrajna Patir Gunesha, the chief knower of the body and the master of three modes of material nature. In the Smriti, it is said, Dasa Bhuto Hare Eva Nanyasvaiva Kadachana. The living entities are eternally in the service of Supreme Lord. This is also confirmed by Lord Chaitanya in his teachings. Therefore, the description of Brahman mentioned in this verse is in relation to the individual soul. And when the word Brahman is applied to the individual entity, it is to be understood that he is Vijnana Brahma as opposed to Ananda Brahma. Ananda Brahma is the supreme Brahman personality of Godhead. Thank you, Mataji.
Give a brief introduction of chapter 13. So in the chapter 13, it's explained like how the living entity comes in contact with the material nature. Then it also talks about how the living entity is delivered by the Supreme Lord through different methods of fruitful activities, cultivation of knowledge, and the discharge of devotional service. And how the living entity, although he is completely different from the material body, how he somehow become related. So these are the major topics covered in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 13. So the purport starts with, the Lord has explained the field of activities and the knower of the field. He has also explained the process of knowing the knower of the field of activities. So in the so if to know this verse, we have to know like we had to have a brief introduction of the previous 6 verses, because all these verses are connected. So in the beginning of the chapter 13, Arjuna asked 6 questions. Oh, my dear Krishna, I wish to know about Prakriti, that is material nature, Purusha, who is the enjoyer, and the field and the knower of the field, and of knowledge and the object of knowledge. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, this body or son of Kunti is called the field, and one who knows his body is called the knower of the field. So what are the 6 questions Arjuna asked is, what is the field of activity? What is the knowledge of the field? And what is knowledge and the goal of that knowledge? And what is the object of knowledge? What is nature and who is the enjoyer? So this verse 13:13 focuses on the object of knowledge. So then let me go like little bit to the first few verses. So what is the field of activity? So our body is called the field. So why do we get this body is because we want to enjoy the sense gratification. That is what we want to dominate the material energy. So a recent study conducted by Ohio State University by a professor, Reese, in 2020, June 27, he says that the 6 basic desires that motivate our action and define our personalities. So then these desires are the power, independence, curiosity, like social contact, honor, idealism, etc. So, but we all know that the body is constantly changing. But what remains eternal is the soul. Even Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 explains the difference between the body and soul. So when the body is used for spiritual advancement, means we are utilizing our land for the best. So we know in a field, like how the farmer cultivates the field, he uses the best crops, right? So that he can get the best yield. He finds the best persons to work in this field. So everything is taken care of by farmers. So same way, our body also has some special purpose, that is to advance for spiritual advancement. We have to use our body. So if you see the whole field of human activity, the prakriti is also a field of karma where we all are working on it. For example, the global environment now is happening, right? Like so much things happening on, like there are more frequent drastic weather, air is dirty, and wildlife extinction, because it's all the karma. What are the activities we do is shaping up the environment also. So the purpose of the field, our body, is to understand the purpose of life. Otherwise, what happens? We'll miss the journey. For I happened to read the story of Akbar and Birbal, like in a big darbar, one person where all the ministers were sitting, and the one person came and gave Akbar a fan, which is an ivory carved fan. So the Akbar started to wave at him, and then he said to Birbal, "Hey Birbal, why don't you take this fan and give it to a biggest fool than you?" So in one way, he was in front of Darbar, he was indirectly mentioning that Birbal is a fool. But Birbal, he didn't make any comments or nothing. He just took the fan. And he like years passed by, and Akbar was on his deathbed. And so one day Birbal went and saw him. So then when he saw like Akbar lying there, he asked, Your Majesty, why are you so sad? So then he said, Birbal, the inevitable journey has come. I have to go. So then Birbal asked him, okay, Majesty, have you packed all your things? So you're going for a journey, right? Did you pack all your things? So then Akbar said, You fool, I'm going for the inevitable journey. Soon the agents of death will come to take me, and I cannot carry anything with me. So the Birbal took the fan and gave it to Akbar and said, Your Majesty, you asked me to give the fan to the biggest fool. Now I am giving it back to you, because you knew that this journey was going to come. This inevitable journey you're talking about is sure to come. You knew that, but still you were dedicating your life for material opulences and for everything. And you didn't care for this journey. You were not prepared for this journey. So you are the biggest fool. That is what we are also doing, the same thing. So we are accumulating, when we are in a good health, everything, we are accumulating all the material wealth, we are aiming for power, like social status, etc. But still we are forgetting one thing. What is our ultimate journey? What's the ultimate goal? Like it is to love and serve Krishna. We forget that in our daily run in this material world. Then Krishna explains who is the Kshetrajna. That means the knower. The Lord says, I am the knower of the field of activities in every individual body. The individual may be knower of his own body, but he is not in knowledge of other bodies. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is present as a super soul in all bodies, knows everything about all bodies. He knows all the different bodies of all various species of life. For example, Prabhupada gives us of a citizen. A citizen will be a proprietor of his land, but a king is a proprietor of all land. As we said, like before, for me, I know what is the age of my body, what are my weakness, what are my strength, but I might not know what is the like strength and weakness of your body, right? What all the pains you go through, I won't know. So only the individual persons will know what is happening to their body. And every body has two knowers. One is the individual soul, another is super soul. And that is Krishna himself situated as Paramatma in our heart. So both are spiritual. And super soul is the control of the body and is in a supreme position. But our nature, our soul is a subordinate position. And super soul is infallible, that is not making mistake. And it's uncontaminated by the three qualities of nature and is transcendental. But when we are in this material world, we tend to make mistakes, right? Like some things we can rectify, some things we cannot do. But we always abide by the three modes of material nature. So Krishna is infallible, means he doesn't make mistake and is not bound by the three modes of material nature. Then Krishna explains what is material nature. So material nature consists of goodness, passion, ignorance. So when eternal entity comes in contact with nature, he becomes conditioned by these modes. For example, I put a picture of a baby in the womb. So when a baby, when it's in the womb, he says, "Oh my Lord, when shall I, wretched soul, be released from this confinement?" Like, so he's like praying to Lord, let me be free from here. But once he is born, you can see that everybody is pampering him. One is touching his leg, one is touching his hands, one is touching his whole body, hugging him, kissing him. So then the individual soul is thinking, oh wow, this is so good. I am the king or I am the queen. So I am pampered a lot. So this is my world. Like I am the control, I am the center of attraction. So that I mind that concept will come there. So then it is said that among the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance, the mode of goodness is better than the others, because in this mode one is able to see all the things in the right perspective, and hence it gives chance to develop the devotional service to the Lord. The right perspective means he knows that he is a servant of Krishna. He is eternal servant of Krishna, and his duty is love and serve him. Srila Prabhupada explains that there are four regulative principles like no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. They have to be followed strictly for whoever is interested in spiritual progress. Since these four activities are considered to be the four pillars of sinful life and prominently are in the mode of passion ignorance, avoiding them will help in cultivating the mode of goodness. So that is what Prabhupada says, like we have to follow the regulative principles strictly, no matter what. So, and in material world, we know like the three modes are always competing with one another. So one has to keep equanimity in happiness and distress, like honor or dishonor. Like you have to be like in face of dualities, you have to be in complete control of yourself. That is what it means. So and these things are not taught in the universities, etc. Only thing we have to learn through scriptures, through instruction of spiritual master. That is how we learn about all these things. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 12, 351, it says, Kale dosha nide rajan asti hi ego mahan gunaha kirtanat eva krishnanasya mukta sangha param vrajat. My dear king, although Kali Yuga is an ocean of fault, there's still one good quality about this age. Simply by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one can be free from this material bondage and be promoted to transcendental kingdom. So Krishna is always giving options. Only thing we have to pick up the right one. Then Krishna talks what is the knowledge. Knowledge means to know the field. That means the body and its knowers. That is the both soul and the super soul. So knowledge is that Krishna is within the heart and he is present everywhere. And from him comes the remembrance, knowledge, forgetfulness. And if one does not understand Krishna and is spread and he is spending all his time in material activities, material enjoyment, actually he is wasting his time and labor. So how to get relief? Knowledge means you have to know how to get relief from the cycle of birth and death, old age and disease. So these are the major problems. So we have to know what is the right knowledge to get over these things. Then there are different bodies and there are different honors of the body, because each individual soul has its individual capacity of loading its own material nature, the different bodies. But Krishna is the controller. So each one, if you see, there are human beings itself, some are dark, some are light, white, some are brown skin. Like then if you see a lot of animals are there, and Krishna is present as an individual soul in each and every body. And each one has got a body because of its capacity to load out the material nature. So the law of karma is that like for every action, there's equal and opposite reaction. So whatever situations come to us in form of happiness, distress, victory or defeat, profit or loss, reward or punishment, that there are other consequences of choices we made in the past. So there's no point in crying now. So whatever choices we made in the past, that's why we are in this body right now. So so this body is a vehicle. We have to use it for a right purpose. So and the purpose is to realize the supreme absolute truth. So anyone who comes to the ultimate goal of knowledge, then he becomes immortal. That means he is no more birth and no more death. So Srila Prabhupada says, to fulfill a desire once given the body, which he act accordingly. Practically speaking, the body is like a machine designed by the Supreme Lord to fulfill the desires. Then Krishna explains how the body is made. It's like a 5 gross elements like ether, air, fire, water, earth. These are called Mahabhuta, and 3 subtle elements like false ego, intelligence, mind, and 5 sense objects: sound, touch, sight, taste, smell, and 5 knowledge acquiring senses like ear, skin, eye, tongue, nose, and 5 working senses: voice, legs, arms, repertoire organs, evacuating organs. Then what are the process of knowledge? Then Krishna talks about the 20 items, which is the process of knowledge. So in the interest of time, I'm not reading everything. I just go pick up the essential one. That is, first is cleanliness. Cleanliness means like external and internal. External cleanliness means like you're getting up early morning, taking shower, apply tilagam, and then chanting Hare Krishna, like wearing clean clothes, etc. Internal cleanliness means like we are chanting Hare Krishna, Maha Mantra, reading scriptures. So these are all help for the internal purification. And detachment. Some people, have that wrong concept. That means detachment means you have to leave your your family and go to forest, and then you take spiritual practice. It's not that like Srila Prabhupada says that you can make the family also Krishna consciousness. Only thing you have to do 4 things, so that if you are in the Grahastha life also, you can become a complete devotee of Lord. The 4 things are like chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the honor prasadam, then have discussions on Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, do deity worship. So in that way, your home can be spiritualized. Then one other thing is you have to have the humility, means be convinced that I am the subordinate of Krishna, and that is the beginning of the knowledge. And engage in the 9 processes of bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, all those, the 9 processes of bhakti, engage in that. And don't not engage much with materialistic people. So you give your association, but don't take the association, because they are material. We will get sucked into their characters. Because if they are in the mode of enjoy the passion, like they want to, they don't want to go to temple, they want to spend the weekend with the friends, watching TV, a movie, going out, then drink. So if you associate with those people, automatically will be sucked into their characteristic. So you can give association, means you can be you can meet them, but do not take the association. You stay as a devotee if you go there also. So always be in association of devotees. Regularly hear the topics of Krishna from authorized sources. And our body demands should be all limited. You should not pamper the body. We always remember this body is a vehicle, so that I had to reach Krishna, to reach my goal. So that is for that purpose only we had to treat the body. And we should be tolerant to all the insult, honor, all the dualities. That's what it means. And when you cultivate all this process, it ultimately leads to unalloyed devotional service to the Lord. So if one takes into Krishna consciousness, so all these qualities are automatically developed in him. So then Prabhupada talks about how can one release the nectar of life. So now Krishna begins to explain the knower bevel, first the soul and the super soul. By knowledge of the knower, both the soul and the super soul, one can release the nectar of life. So I explained earlier what is the body, what is the soul, what's the difference between them, and what is the super soul. So here in Bhagavad Gita chapter 18 and 36 to 37 verse, it says, a conditioned soul tries to enjoy material happiness again and again. Thus he chooses a truth, but sometimes in course of such enjoyment, he becomes relieved from the material entanglement by association with the great soul. He is awakened to his real Krishna consciousness. He is sometimes relieved from such repetitive so-called happiness. For example, if you see a camel, like he keeps on chewing, and if he chews a thorn, his own tongue is affected. The blood will be coming, but he's relishing that it's a good taste for him. So same way, we are also born in the material world in various species of life. Still, we are keep on enjoying and getting entangled in this material whirlpool. But somehow by Krishna's mercy we come with association of devotees or spiritual master, then it will like automatically will revive our eternal identity. Like we know what is the purpose of life. So we started to think. So that is what, once we do like that, we can release the nectar of life. So in pursuit of self-realization, one has to follow many rules and regulations to control the mind and senses. So all these procedures, like I explained about the regulative principles, are very difficult. It's like a bit like poison. But if one is successful in following the regulations and come to transcendental positions, he begins to drink real nectar. He enjoys life. For example, now it's the weather is very cold. Sometimes we don't feel like getting up early morning and do our chanting. We feel like going under the blanket and sleeping some more time. But we had to know, okay, early morning, like before Brahma Muhurta, we had to get up early morning, then take shower, everything, and then we had to chant. That is our primary duty. So if we that is what Prabhupada also says. The one who's suffering in jaundice will taste sugarcane as a bitter. For jaundice, the sugarcane is a medicine. But for people who suffer from jaundice, this will be very bitter. So, but they had to take it. So once we take it, what happened? He will be cured. So that way, if we take the practice regulative principle and follow our sadhana, then we all be free from all the internal enemies like lust, anger, greedy, envy, false prestige, pride, attachment. So we have purified of all these negative tendencies and we can still release the nectar of life. Then Prabhupada explains what is the nature of soul. So there's no specific date at which Jiva was born because we don't know when we were born in this material world, right? We were being like born in different species of life. So because of that, no one can trace out the history of Jivatma's manifestation from the Supreme Lord. Therefore, it is beginningless. The Vedic literature confirms this. Na jayade mrityade va vibhachid. Kada Upanishad 1:2:18. The knower of a body never dies and is full of knowledge. So this explains the eternity of soul. So when was the time the living entity came in contact with material nature? We don't know. We cannot track it. So we are always in the cycle of birth and death. So when are we actually really dying? So when we do not apply the knowledge which we receive to spiritual master or through scriptures, when we do not do chanting, when we don't read our scriptures, then when we don't offer to prasadam to Krishna, don't tell others about Krishna, that is the time we are really dying. So example, Prabhupada gives us a jar of honey. If you want to taste of the honey, you have to open the bottle and then you have to lick it. Otherwise it's like you're licking the jar. After jar, you're not tasting the real Amrit. So that is what Srila Prabhupada says. So and act according to the spiritual master, sadhu, shastra. And so when we do that, there will be no more karma. All the karma is burned out. So the choice is yours. Either you want spiritual happiness or material happiness. For example, I put the picture of the cow. Like this, we can see in India, wherever we go to village, we can see a cow tied to the tree or some pole. So if you see the rope which a cow is tied is 7 meters, the cow can move within that particular length. Only 7 meters he can move. But sometimes if it doesn't move, like that means we also have that free will. Like Krishna is giving us a free will. Okay, you can come. The material nature is bounding us, like how the cow is tied to the rope. The material nature is bounding us. But Krishna is giving us a free will. Like, okay, you want to be tied by the material nature? Okay, go ahead. If you want to come out of it, you have to follow my instructions. So, and he gives a process of bhakti, how to reach him. So the choice is ours. So we cannot tell, okay, everything is written on my head. This is destiny. No, I don't have anything to do. Everything is my fate. No, every moment we can make choices. Whether it is right or wrong, it is up to us to decide what you want to become. So if you want material happiness, Krishna has given all the facilities. And if you want spiritual happiness, he also has given that also. So it's better for us to make the right choices and choices. But if you don't make right choices, if you be stable like a tree. Like if like a wind comes, like flood comes, the tree will stand like that. That means whatever people are trying to teach you, you don't follow that. You don't follow the instructions. The Krishna knows that, okay, it's not going to come with me. Okay, he's going to suffer in the material whirlpool again. So always we have to make a right choices. So then Prabhupada talks about what is Acharya Upasana. So why we had to accept a spiritual master? Because without instruction of a bona fide spiritual master, one cannot progress in the spiritual science. So the spiritual master give us the right knowledge. He dispels the ignorance from our heart. Then once we take initiation, what happens is the previous sinful activities will be burned from the root. Automatically, like will become humble. Then we have a clear vision. We have a proper Vaikuntha vision that we know as devotees, we know where we came from, what are the things we need to avoid in this material world, and what we had to perform, and where I am going in the end. So we have a clear vision of our journey. Then, so again, we had to approach the spiritual master with all humility and offer him all services so that he will be pleased to bestow his blessings upon us. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said, like Guru Krishna Kripaya Paya Bhakti Leja Bija. Like it's the verses from Chaitanya Chaitamrita Madhya chapter 19 and 151 verse. So Guru, Acharya and Krishna. One should seek the favor of both of them. Not that I am now seeking a favor of Krishna. What is the use of Guru or Acharya? So that should not be the attitude. You cannot overlap Acharya and go to Krishna. That is not possible. So Krishna will not accept you. And because spiritual master is always a pure representative of the Lord. For example, to become a medical doctor, we have to enroll ourselves in a major university. And we have to take the course, we have to study, do practicals. So everything we have to do. But if you just go to library, okay, I want to become a doctor, and if you just go to library and read books, and then you don't practice properly, and you start a clinic and you put a board like, oh, okay, I am a doctor. And if you treat patient and some patients will die, what happens? You'll be end up in jail. So example, for the same thing happened to material nature also. Material nature is also like a jail. So we had to take the right path, the right medicine. So that is what Srila Prabhupada always says. Follow the good, follow the instruction, do devotional service. So you have to follow strictly our acharyas. So another reason for having a guru is like there are a lot of bogus gurus, right? It's like a parable of 4 blind men and the elephant. So what happens? One person in this picture, he says an elephant is like a big snake. Other is telling, actually, no, it's a tree stump. Other is saying, what are you saying? It's like a sheet of leather. Other is saying, you all are wrong. It's actually like a little furry mouse. So what happens in this material world? Like there are some people will tell, okay, Krishna doesn't have a form. And some persons will tell, okay, Krishna is just like other demigod, like Shiva, Lord Muruga, everything. Krishna is not a supreme personality of Godhead. And some gurus will tell, okay, you don't worship anybody. You just worship me. I will take you. I will promise you, I will save you from death. But he himself cannot save his death, right? Like, so it's like always the knowledge is misinterpreted. So that is why we have to follow the guru from the disciplic succession. So we had to be away from these bogus gurus because of the teaching, our mind will become bewildered and we might take a wrong choices and a wrong path. So that should not be our goal. Then all knower is Krishna. The supreme, the first part of Srila Prabhupada says, the Supreme Lord as a super soul is also stated in the Vedic literature. Kshetrasvara Upanishad 6:16 to be the Pradhana Kshetratna Patit Ganesha, the chief knower of the body and the master of the 3 modes of material nature. So in this material world, we have under the illusion that nobody is watching us. Okay, like we can see when we go, when we drive, we can see somebody like running over the red light. Like, okay, they think like nobody sees it. Okay, maybe true, nobody is watching them. They might escape one time, but every time they can't escape that, one point they'll be get caught. So the same way we also under the illusion, no one is watching us. So, but Krishna is all pervading, is everywhere, is omnipresent, omniscient. So he's situated in our heart as like Paramatma. So we are never alone or left unnoticed. So all good deeds and all bad deeds are watched by him and his agents. For example, I like to take a story of a sculpture. Like one time, a sculpture was carving the Archa Vigraha of Krishna. So a person was coming and he saw like two Archa Vigraha, like one is completed and other he was carving. So that man, he asked the sculptor, "Do you need two Vigrahas for the temple?" So then he said, "No, I only need one because the first one I made had some, I made some mistake and it had a scratch on the on the nose of the Krishna. So I cannot use that." So then he said, "Where are you going to install this Krishna statue?" So he said, they'll be installing, the temple will be installing around around a 20 feet height, that height they will be installing the deity on the altar. So then he was telling, so then if you're installing the Krishna statue about 20 feet high, no devotees will notice. So why you want to take all the pain and carve one more deity of Krishna? You could have taken this and given to the temple management, something like that. So this sculpture said, "No, nobody will know, but Krishna knows everything. I cannot cheat Krishna. So his eyes are separated everywhere. He's within me and within outside also. So I cannot cheat Krishna. So that's what we should also know. Krishna is everywhere. He's our spiritual master. So we have to serve and love him." And in Srimad Bhagavatam 6.1.42, it is said, "The sun, fire, sky, air, demigod, moon, everything, day, night, directions, water, land, super soul himself witnesses all activities of the living entity." That means we are not, Krishna is always watching us. He's always there for us. He knows what is good, what is right, and he always makes sure that, always waiting when the soul will turn towards me. And he is providing all the opportunities for us to come back to him. Then what should be our prayers? This is a famous verse from Padma Purana, and also Chaitanya Charitamrita is also written. "Smartavyam satatam Vishnur, Vishmartavyo na jatu chet, sarve vidhi nishedaha suyur, etayor eva kinkaraha." Krishna is the origin of Lord Vishnu. He should always be remembered and never forgotten at any time. All the rules and prohibitions mentioned in the Shastras should be the servants of these two principles. So what's our duty if we take all the scriptures, if we take Padma Purana, Garuda Purana, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, everything talks about only one thing. Like Satatam Kirtayamo Vishnu, like you always think about Krishna. So our duty, our goal is to always sincerely pray to Supreme Lord and Guru Parampara, Srila Prabhupada and Guru Deva to bestow their mercy upon us, so that we remain conscious of existence and use this rare opportunity of human life for remembering him all the time and stay in continuous devotion service, so we attain liberation and be with Krishna. For example, Parishit Maharaj, he knew that he was going to die within 7 days, so that he got opportunity to get prepared himself. So even in Srimad Bhagavatam, the story of Khatvanga Maharaja, is in Kando 2:1, chapter 1 and 13th verse. So Khatvanga Maharaja, he helped the demigod when demigods had a war with the demons. So they those times the demigod, if they need help, they come to the earthly planet and ask the kings of that time to come and help them. So Maharaj, Khatvanga Maharaj, he went and helped them. And as a benediction, they asked him, what do you want? So he said, they thought, he will have any material appearances, but he said, "No, I don't want any material appearances. I want to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead." Then they said, then he said, "I want to know, when I'll be dead, how much time I have on this earthly planet." So then the demigod said, "You have only half an hour to live in this earthly planet." So Maharaj Khatvanga, he immediately left everything and he started to meditate on the lotus feet of Lord, and he got liberation. And so now, today I'm giving class, tomorrow I don't know whether I am living or not, because material world is so So anything can happen, right? Sometimes we can hear people die due to old age, sometimes due to some diseases, sometimes because of some accidents. We don't know how death is going to come to us, but so we had to prepare for this inevitable journey. So always, whatever time, like every time, we had to remember Krishna and always engage in devotional service, because the devotional service is so powerful that it helps you to connect with the devotees. It helps you to connect with the Guru and the Guru Parambara, and through them we are connected to Krishna. So we have to take the opportunity as devotional service like it's a blessing to us. How many of them have got that fortunate for that? So most of them, most of us are fortunate because we know through our scriptures, through our Shishya Gurus, Guru Maharaj, we know what is the purpose of life, and we can divert our journey towards Krishna. And some of them are not, they are so caught up in this material world, they don't have time to listen also. If you go for book description also, if you give book also, they are not willing to take it. So we are so fortunate. So we had to utilize whatever time we have left in this world for the serving Krishna and his devotees. And Prabhupada talks the difference between the Vijnana Brahma and Ananda Brahma. So in the purport it said, in the Smriti it is said, Dasa Bhuto Harir Eva Nanya Saiva Kadachana. The living entities are eternally in the service of Supreme Lord. This is also confirmed by Lord Chaitanya in his teachings. Therefore, the description of Brahma mentioned in this verse is in relation to the individual soul. And when the word Brahman is applied to the living entity, it is to be understood that he is Vijnana Brahma opposed to Ananda Brahma. So Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. He is the Ananda Brahma. So Vijnana Brahma means, so the one in the individual soul is covered by Maya or illusory energy, understand what is his constitutional position with relation to the Supreme Lord. That is, he understands that he is a servant of Krishna, and he himself engages in devotional service, and he experienced that pure bliss of Ananda or bliss when he realizes the super soul within him. And this knowledge is received through disciplic successions. So one cannot understand Supreme Personality of Godhead or God Krishna or his name, form, quality simply by mental speculation or by discussing Vedic literature. So one should understand Krishna through only devotional service. So when the soul experiences, when he does all the devotional services, and follow all the rules and the regulation, so one point he will realizes the Supreme Soul within. So that is how he attains the Vijnana Brahma. And Ananda Brahma is always means Krishna only. Krishna is Satchidananda. Sat means eternal and Chit means full of knowledge. And Ananda means full of bliss. Because we are spirit soul, our eternal position is Ananda Maya. So Ananda Maya means always blissful. So we can stage into Ananda Maya like when we do services to Krishna with our wholehearted, it's not. So that is how we can prove, like, our goal should be what to satisfy Krishna. It's not to it should not be to satisfy our desires, our material goal. Okay, Krishna, I am a devotee, so you have to do this for me, you do that for me. Krishna is not our servant. We are the servant of Krishna. So our duty is to love and serve him and do all the things for Krishna and for this for satisfactions. So that should be our goal. So in this conclusion, I like to recap. So we learned what is Kshetra, that is the body. What is Kshetrajna, that is the soul. We learned how is Kshetra made of, that is how is the body is made of. And we learned what is material nature and what are the three modes which controls the nature. And we learned what is the process of knowledge, that is the 20 items is that that's called the process of knowledge, for that which lead to the devotional service. What is the object of knowledge? To understand, that is, we are spirit soul, we are servant of Krishna. Our eternal duty is to love and serve Krishna. We learn what is the importance of having an acharya. We learn then we learn what is the purpose of our life and how we can experience the real Ananda. So thank you so much. If you have made any mistakes in my presentation, I sincerely apologize. Any questions, comments, suggestions are welcome. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. That's a wonderful presentation. Devotees, if you have any questions or comments or any reflections, please share.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Very nice class, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Atma Mataji. Very nice class, Mataji. Especially when you summarized it at the end, it was thank you, Mataji. Appreciate it. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Any other devotees? You have any questions or comments or reflections? Please share.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I had one question. So in the middle, you were talking about we have the choice to either think about Krishna in every moment, or we have the choice to not think about Krishna. Mataji, any guidance for preventing ourselves from not thinking about Krishna, and how do we make sure we're doing that every moment, especially when during the day so many things come, and we lose sight of remembering Krishna. Any guidance, Mataji?
If you see Prabhu, I'm just trying to explain, in our day, we all are engaged with various activities, right? If we take a housewife, they have to do cook, clean the house. So much things are there to do. And for a person's going to office, he also has lot of work in the office. Sometimes it's not possible to think or chant of Krishna. Like for example, if you are going to work in office, you can keep a small picture of Krishna on your table. Like that, you can remember Krishna. You can think okay, this is a job given to me by Krishna, so I have to do it. That's my duty. So that's how you can think about Krishna. So whatever job you do, you can link that with to Krishna. I'm doing this for Krishna's purpose. Krishna wanted me to do this. I'm doing it. That should be the goal. So if you have earned well, you can give some portion to for the temple, right? So that way you are utilizing your hard-earned money for Krishna service. So or if you're driving, you can play music of Krishna, or you can hear Prabhupada's lecture. So that way we can stay connected with Krishna. So that is what I personally feel. Prabhu, you have any update, Prabhu?
Krishna Mataji, very, very nice answer. Actually, I don't have much to add to this.
Thank you, Mataji. I think what you said about our job is something actually Krishna has given us. That's a very good point. Thank you, Mataji.
Devotees, please unmute yourself and ask if you have any question or a comment or a reflection. Okay, if no other question, we'll move on to the next part of our program. Before that, thank you, Maya Mataji. As usual, a wonderful PPT and presentation, and thank you for enlightening us. We are looking forward for more classes from you. Thanks a lot, Atma Mataji. Haribol to you, Atma Mataji. So before we are moving on to the next section, I have a quick announcement. We had a very nice month. The last month we had a good book distribution happened. We have collected Lakshmi also for that, and total 22 English Bhagavad Gita we distributed, and one Ramayana book, one Krishna, 2 plus 3, 3 higher taste, one topmost yoga, and 2 chant and be happy. And we collected $180, Lakshmi. Thank you, Pushpanjali Mataji, and all other Sankirtan team members for distributing our Prabhupada books. And I want to thank Veena Mataji for organizing a book stall at like Holy Celebration, Austin Grand Holy Celebration on March 20th. It is at Leander, Texas. So the event is from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. We got a book booth stall without any fee. So we want to distribute Prabhupada books. Please join us if you all interested, and take it forward the Prabhupada's and Lord Gauranga's mission to spread the holy name in the form of books. So those are all the announcements. And one more I want to do quickly. We are getting like Gaura Purnima. So on that Gaura Purnima, people, devotees take a vow, like a formal commitment to do a specifying number of rounds. So please commit how many rounds you can. So you will get a spiritual strength from Lord Gauranga to fulfill that vow. Please take and motivate other devotees to chant. That is the mission and aim of Lord Gauranga and Srila Prabhupada. You all know that Hare Krishna Mahamantra we need to chant on the beads. If anyone want beads, contact Jai Subhadra Mataji or me or Radha Damodar Prabhu. So we are praying to requesting you all devotees to take up the chanting and also motivate others to chant. That will cleanses our mind, heart, and it will help us to progress in our spiritual path. Thank you. So next part of our program is Sunday Feast Aarti. Spin the temple window. We are going to do the Gaura Aarti at temple. You can watch by pinning the temple window. We are starting in a minute or two. Today, Gaura Aarti is performing by Purnamasi Mataji and Ananya and Sunil Prabhu doing Kirtan. Prabhu, can you unmute a temple window? We can't hear Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Satyasara Prabhu, Radha Damodar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama
Hare Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Gauranita, Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita.
Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita.
Jaya Jagannatha, Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra.
Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra.
Jaya Radha, Kunja Bihari Radhe.
Jaya Radha, Kunja Bihari Radha, Kunja Bihari Radhe.
Jaya Radha, Neela Madhava Radha, Neela Madhava Radhe.
Jaya Radha, Nila Madhava Radha, Nila Madhava Radhe.
Jaya Radha, Madhara Mohan Radha, Madhara Mohan Radhe.
Jaya Radha, Madan Mohan Radha, Madan Mohan Radhe.
Jaya Jaya Prabhu, Prabhu, Jaya Prabhupada.
Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Thank you, Purnamasi Mataji, and thank you, Ananya. Thank you, Sunil Prabhu, for nice Aarti. Again, we are dedicating our Gaura Aarti and Narsimha Aarti to the devotees and people of Ukraine who are under the crisis. So please pray for them, for their well-being. Hare Krishna. Now we are going, Ananya going to sing Narsimha Aarti.
Namaste Narashingaya. Namaste Narashingaya. Namaste Narashingaya. Namaste Narashingaya. Hiranyakashipurvakshah Shilatanka नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो ईतो नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो ईतो नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो ईतो नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो यतो यतो यामि ततो 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 नरसिंहो बहिर्नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो बहिर्नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो बहिर्नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो बहिर्नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो नरसिंहमदीं शरणं प्रपद्ये नरसिंहमदीं शरणं प्रपद्ये नरसिंहमदीं शरणं प्रपद्ये नरसिंहमदीं शरणं प्रपद्ये तव कर कमल अद्भुत श्रृंगार ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृंगा जगदीता नरहरिम्बा जय जगदीश जय जगदीश तव कर कमल वर अद्भुत श्रृंगार ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृंगा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश जय जगदीश जय जगदीश जय जगदीश जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे शवधृता जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवधृता जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश जय जगदीश जय जगदीश सिंगदी जय जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय भक्त प्रहलाद भक्त प्रहलाद भक्त प्रहलाद जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय जय प्रभु जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 Jaya Guruji, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Gurudev, Mithai Gaura Hari Hari Mithai Gaura Hari Mithai Gaura Hari विघ्न विनाशक नरसिंह भगवान की जय, भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। हरे महामंत्र की जय।
Haribol to Purnamati Mataji, Ananya, and thank you, Sunil Prabhu, for nice Mridanga. Now we will, Radha Damodar Prabhu will do announcements before we are concluding our Sunday